All these years, I always assumed 28 Days Later was a good movie. Turns out it's not. Welcome to October Scaries, where I'm watching 13 movies for the month of October and reviewing them. We're going to talk about 28 Days Later today. 28 Days Later is a post-apocalyptic British horror. In it, these activists try to rescue these chimps who are being held in a laboratory and being experimented on. They try to free the chimps. Turns out they're infected with a rage-inducing virus. So once they let the chimps out, the chimps attack, and then they spread the virus to humans, and this leads to society collapsing. This man named Jim has been in a coma this whole time. 28 days later, he wakes up, or 28 days into the collapse, he wakes up to find that everything's deserted. He's found by a group of survivors, and he and the survivors end up going on a journey to find what they hope is safety. It is directed by Danny Boyle, and it's written by Alex Garland. This is the second movie I've ever watched from Alex Garland, unless I'm mistaken. We're gonna say this is the second movie. I hated Civil War, which came out a few years ago, 2023. Hated it, and I hate this movie. So I think it's safe to say that me and Alex Garland just don't bang. 28 Days Later stars Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris, or is it Naomi Harris? I should have looked that up. Brendan Gleeson, Megan Burns, and Christopher Eccleston, amongst many others. The first episode of The Walking Dead is better than this movie. The first episode. Just the first episode is better than this movie. Morgan's storyline in the first episode of The Walking Dead is better than this storyline. So 28 Days Later, I have multiple issues with it. Number one, the plot. I don't like the pacing of this movie. I don't like the plot of this movie. So the people are not zombies, which I thought they would be. They're not. That's fine. That's not the problem. They're called the infected. Oh, I should say that 28 Days Later is credited with, it's been credited with redefining as well as influencing and expanding the popularity of the zombie horror genre, even though it's not a zombie movie, but it has that credit, which good for it. But as far as the story, in a story that has infection, people are infected and they just want to eat you, and when they eat you, you turn, or when you get their blood into your system, you turn. In a plot like that, you give me the actual plot that leads to a climax is a plot about rape. That is not interesting. The great thing about the zombie genre, and I'm basing this off The Walking Dead is my strongest exposure to the zombie genre. I'm not a huge fan of the zombie genre. I don't find zombies interesting as a supernatural creature. But The Walking Dead, Sugar Hill, which I watched and reviewed a few videos ago, it's a great avenue, just like horror in general, but zombie affectations, the collapse of society, and people turning into zombies. It's a great way to look at what humans will do to survive, a great way to comment on the human condition. This movie has a thing for one of the characters in terms of Selena. Selena is played by Naomi Harris. I'll get to her. The one thing about the human condition is for Selena is about it's not all fucked. Is how they say it's not all fucked. There is still hope. It's not just about surviving. I don't think they did a good job threading that theme for her. But the other thing about the human condition, the biggest thing was they get to the army base. Turns out it's a trap, which Selena said. And the commander, I'm not gonna look this up. The commander says it's 9 of them. There's 9 men, and he promised them women, because what is the point of 9 men surviving if there are no women for them to basically have their way with? No women for them to conquer. There's nothing interesting about this. It just is what it is. They put out this message to lure women, and then we see that men, of course, heard the message and came and they killed them. But it's almost like a blink if you miss it, a pile of bodies. Jim, this is a vehicle for Jim. This plot specifically is a vehicle to demonstrate Jim as the hero. I don't buy it. He is not him, okay? He's a bird-chested bicyclist who spends most of the movie being saved by Selena, but because your imagination is limited, you want me to buy him as He-Man like survivor who can go up against a bunch of army men. Not that they're interesting or like capable, but you know, they have the guns and stuff like that. You want me to see him as capable, and so you throw in this rape plot line, demote Selena from how capable she showed herself to be at the beginning of this, so that Jim can show himself. All of a sudden he's scaling buildings and dropping down from windows and doing all that. I don't buy it. There's a laughable scene where I'm saying Commander, I could be getting his title all wrong, but Christopher Eccleston's character asked Jim, what did he have to do to survive? What did you have to do to survive? You wouldn't be here if you didn't have to do something. So what was it? And you know, Jim's looking very somber and he says, I had to kill a child. And I'm like, bitch, first of all, Selena told you not to go into that gas station, but you were like, oh, it's like being on holiday with your aunt. The child was a zombie. I mean, not a zombie. The child was infected. Like, I just, like, it wasn't this, like, oh, this is so hard. It's not giving Carol. Okay? It's not giving Look at the Flowers, Lizzie. Please. It's not even giving Rick killing Sophia. It's not giving Rick even killing that little girl who's crawling towards him in the first episode. There was nothing tense about it. He went into this dark ass gas station after he was told not to. Like, it was just bad decision. So I'm not buying, like, what did you have to do to survive? Nothing, because Selena was saving his ass. We had that scene in the stairwell when the infected are attacking. Selena's hauling ass. She's telling him, come on. He's yelling for her, asking her to slow down. Jim is not an effective, he's not a leader. He's not a rescuer. Like, he is a victim. He is in need of saving, which is fine, but don't try to tell me something different. And they try to tell me something different and I'm not going for it. Selena, Selena was only there to save Jim, after which they lost interest in her, okay? She has been surviving this entire time. They gave her no backstory. They gave Mark a backstory right before she chopped his ass down. The fact that she's been with this man, like surviving with him for however long, and she thinks he got infected, or she saw he was bitten or whatever, and she decided to chop, didn't even blink. That's an interesting character. But as soon as, you know, now that Jim knows her, now it's all about Jim. And every time Jim is learning information about things, like via Frank or via the commander, the lieutenant, whatever, the leader, she's nowhere to be found, because now she's relegated to something to further his plot along. The most exciting part of this movie was when the blood fell in Frank's eye. That is it. That journey, like the tone shift. The tone of the movie shifted from we have to survive to like a freaking road trip, going shopping in the grocery store. I wasn't feeling it. They lost me. Selena goes from being this badass to trying to give Hannah, who could not act, pills in the bathroom so that she doesn't feel it when she's being assaulted. They try to give me a romance with Selena kissing no, she's the one to have a crush on. He should have kissed her. I was like, this is not the place or the time. After he saves her, he kisses her or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's not all fucked. I'm like, I wasn't buying it. I was not feeling the romance. 1 out of 5. Oh, we also find out that, like, it's not all of England or all of the world that collapsed, that maybe just, like, London or maybe just England. I'm not interested. Like, I'm not interested in whatever comes after this at all. There seems to be more black people in the second one, but I'm fine. Maybe the second one is better because Alex Garland is not involved, but I'm not willing to risk it.